Hello fellow map makers, welcome to another live map making session with campaign cartographer and me, Ralph Sherman of Profanity Software. Hope you're all doing fine and having a happy Halloween. Sound is good. Thank you very much, Sue. It's good to hear. And quite a few people in the chat. That's nice. Not everybody's out trick-or-treating. Well, I guess it's too early for that in the States yet. It would be the perfect time here, but it's not that much a custom in my region. And so no big danger of getting erupted by the doorbell and scary-clad children. Well, let's see. If it happens, it happens. All right, I hope you're all doing well and are looking forward to a little bit of map making again tonight. I want to do something and combine a couple different styles into a bit of a zombie-like shambling thing. Basically, not a full new style, but the map comprised of two different things, and show you how to set that up and combine the stuff and set up new tools and bring in new symbol catalogs, bitmap files and stuff like that. So if you've got any questions during the session, please do post them in the chat. We'll try to answer anything here. People in the chat, me live on screen if I can. And then we can everybody learn a little bit from that. Otherwise, if you do like our video sessions, do give it a like and a subscribe to our channel, and that helps make it everything a little bit more visible on YouTube, so other people can know about our sessions. All right, so let's get going. You already see a little bit of what I want to do. I've just been testing out stuff here and left that on screen. I basically, while the symbol set 5, Cities of Schley, is a fantasy themed set, it does have some aspects which are timeless, which could be used for modern map or modern style, and so I want to combine that with some of the assets from symbol set 3 from our modern symbol set and see whether I can't use these together to make a nice suburban street scene. Something like where children might actually walk along to do trick-or-treating on a Halloween night like this. So, how do we go about that? Well, the first thing is to choose a new map and decide which of the styles I want to use. I'll use as the base. And here, because the main thing like the roofs and the house shapes and stuff is in the Cities of Schley, I'm going to start a Cities of Schley map as my baseline. So I'm going to click on the new map icon, save my settings, and then go to the cities map type, click next, and then we are already here at the symbol set 5, Cities of Schley. Oh, okay, that was a bit weird there. Oh, it's just, I guess the click wasn't quite on the spot. Here, this is the style I want to use, and I'm gonna go for the default style, so the Imperial version. I'm just gonna click next and set the size of my map. We don't need much, I just want to create a small scene and try stuff out, so I'm gonna do a half-sized map with 500 by 400 feet. Click finish, and then go to my folder where I'm working in this case our video folder, and save the map. And here we are with our default map background, green grass, and everything else empty. So next up, I want to decide on a house shape, a rooftop basically, and see which one of the ones from symbol set 5 I want to use. And here I've got the shingle roofs, which could work in a modern setting, but they are perhaps would then look a little bit run down. So and I think the tiled houses are actually a little bit better for a modern style for the suburban scene I want to create here. The thatched hovels is probably not the stuff I'm looking for. I'm not going for a Mediterranean or Near Eastern city or town, so I'm not going to use that. And then we've got, we can also check here what else we've got. I think another one that would be suitable. No, that's actually the ones we've got, and that's fine. So I'm just going to go with the classic version, the tiled roofs. And there, let's see whether I've got a nice shape. I've got large houses and smaller houses. I think a large house is actually quite nice. And there's one I quite like because it already offers me an entrance point, or basically probably something on the main door. So I'm gonna align this. Oh, let's work because, yeah, where are we? There we are, like this. So I'm just gonna place this in the center of the map and then zoom in so that we can work here. And you can see we've got a nice L-shaped house shape with a little bit of a roof over, might be the entrance here. We can use this as the nice starting point for our house. All right. So next up, what I wanted to do. Now I do want to combine some stuff from the Simulthat 3 bitmap style, and we do need the assets from that. Basically, first of all, what I want to do, I want to create a modern asphalt road, and I don't have the tools for that in Simulthat 5. If I take a look at let's take a look at the road tools. I've got the paved road, I've got dust and dirt and grass, but nothing like that would stand in nicely for an asphalt road, a tarmac, in no modern setting. So I'm, going to look for that in Simulthat 3, and those would be bitmap fills, of course, and on a map that doesn't have the bitmap fills included, I do need to import those. There's a couple options. I could go to tools, import bitmap fill styles, go look for the folder. I've got the bitmaps here. They would be under tiles because they are tiling, and then modern, and then we've got the bitmap A here, and here's the fills you can already see. And there's dark gravel, and at the very top here is asphalt. That's what I'm looking for. Of course, I could use these, but then I'm not sure how large these are meant to be, how they are scaled and everything, so they might not be exactly what I want in scaling. I would have to play around with that, and so I can have a look whether I've got these in a defined version already. Basically, if I import a map with fill styles into this map, then the bitmap fills will get added, and so I can go draw insert file. And I could, of course, use any sample map I have from this style, but I can check a special folder under campaign cartographer 3+, the program data folder. See, that's my install location, drive D, program data C3+. And then there's a folder under system that is called fill styles. And most or many styles do have all the bitmap fills collected in one drawing and nothing else in there, so it can easily be inserted into any existing map without any hassle. And if you take a look, we do have Simulthat 3 here, Simulthat 3 bitmap fills. That's what I want, so I'm just going to open that file. See, place doesn't have anything because there's nothing in the file, but it does add the bitmap fills. So let's have a look. If I go into fill styles now, check a look, and there's the asphalt already. Asphalt cracked and standard asphalt. So those are the ones I was going for. I've got all the other ones now as well. They might come in handy. Perhaps I'm not going to use them. I can delete them later if I don't need them. but already seeing that cracked concrete and concrete tiles might be very useful for us. And there's some other stuff, floorboards. It's not obviously the same drawing style as Mike's, but we can see whether we can merge them nicely enough. Alright, so I've got the road fill. I just need to draw the road. I could of course just set everything here now, fill style, sheet, and draw on that. But I can also create a new drawing tool to make use of my new assets. So I'm going to click on the All Drawing Tools button, click Advanced, and have a look here for our road tools. See, we've got different road tools for the different fills, some area shape, and then some varying width ones. And I'm just make a copy of one of these and change the fill style to make use of my new asphalt fill. So I'm going to select the tool I want to copy, click New, and then just put in asphalt instead of mud. And then I'm going to go into Properties and see the Streets Mud is the fill that we have from previously. And now we need to look for our asphalt style. Here we are. And what I normally do, though it's not visible, I do set a fairly matching color for the bitmap fill. Why do I do that? It's first, it does give me a unique color for that type of fill, or mostly unique. That lets me, if I want to select all stuff, I can select by color. But more importantly, if should I ever lose the bitmap fills for some reason that are included in here, then I could simply change that to solid and will have a difficult appearance, a similar appearance with the dark gray. There we go. See, it's already pretty uniform. And now I'm going to click OK. And actually, because I want to. Oh yes, let's do that, but I'm going to go back in because I'm already, see, I've done the same for testing purpose previously with a smaller road. But what I want to do, I want to make this not a curved road, but a straight road, because I'm imagining a grid of streets, and so I don't need these to be curved. So I'm going to click on Options here, go for straight. There we are, and I can now save this here, and I'm going to, now I've got the snap turned on, and I'm just going to draw a stretch of street here in front of the house. There we go, and if I refresh, you see the street effects, and there's already something that doesn't match very well at all in this style. Basically, the road has a edge fade effect in this style, because I'm imagining dirt and grass on the edge, which kind of merge into another. That's not quite the same how a modern asphalt road would look. So we need to change this. So I'm going to go into the sheet effects, click on roads here. Could of course create a new roads sheet. So I keep the old one around. I should probably do that. So I can use the other drawing tools without interfering, and they keep their old fill style. For example, if I draw a path going into the woods or something, dirt path, that could go then on the road sheet. So I'm going to create a new one, roads asphalt, and I'm gonna add a, let's not do anything for the moment. See, let's just move to sheet, select the road, press D for do it, and put it on the roads asphalt sheet. No sheet effect, sharp corner, nothing there. I do want to add stuff here though. For example, I do want to set off the edges of the road a little bit with a darker setting. So I'm gonna add a glow to this, put it on the inside, make it a black glow, not very pronounced, so I'm gonna use a strength of 0 and a 1 unit blur radius in map units. Let's see if I zoom in. Oops, I've got it set up a little bit, with that I've got a darker edge there on the edge of the road. But what it doesn't look very much like anything yet. It's nothing special. So what we can do is, what would a street like this have? It would certainly have a sidewalk, in a residential area. So I want to create a sidewalk around this. Now I could just draw a shape around this, but I can also underlay this with another wider line with a texture for the sidewalk. Just make it wider so it appears on both sides. That's quick and easy. So let's do that. First off, I'm gonna set the current layer and fill style here, because I want to see, and I want to set up a new layer for the sidewalk. So make our own layer for that called sidewalks. And that I mentioned that brighter, a lighter gray. So I'm gonna make this color, and for the fill style, what are we gonna do there? And that's why I remember the concrete I had earlier, this cracked concrete, so not the new sidewalks, but that should work pretty fine. So next off, I'm gonna make a copy. So I'm gonna do, right click the copy icon and say copy to layer. Go, select our road, press D for do it, right click, and then select the sidewalks layer. And then I'm gonna change properties and select by prior. We'll select the copy we've just made. Again, press D for do it. And now we can set our color, our layer, that should already be correct, the fill style, and we need to have it wider. So 5-foot sidewalk on either side. We would make it 10 foot wider than the overall from the road. There we are. And only thing, this covers our road now. We could either send it to the back, or what I would prefer to do to set up my own sheet effects on that is to move it to a new sheet. So move to sheet, again select by prior, do it, and add roads sidewalk. Move that up, and I'm gonna put that below all of the roads. Okay, did I put it on the roads? No, there we are. Okay, now we could do a little bit of an edge fade effect on that, not that pronounced, but again there might be a little bit of grass growing onto the concrete, so that might be nice. So I'm just gonna copy the edge fade effect from the normal roads. Oops. Paste it here and make it much smaller, just 1/2 foot should be fine. Yeah. And you can see, should be able to see now. Why doesn't this show here? That's because nothing in the entity is actually showing there, no note or anything, so it doesn't get displayed. But that looks quite nice. I'm thinking I could perhaps use a bevel effect on the road here to make it look a little bit like it's sunken, or the sidewalk is higher, but bevels are, with all the grays in there, always a bit tricky. So yes, Remy just mentioned that this doesn't appear if that's because I've used a white line. And at this point here, nothing of the entity that is known to campaign cartographers are actually in the window. No edge, no node or anything, and that's why this doesn't get displayed. If I drawn these as polygons, it would display fine, because then an edge of the entity would be in the drawing window. But no big deal, we can work with that. So we've already got a nice road here. So what else would a modern road like this have? Probably some road markings, like lines marking no parking, or a dashed line in the center. So we could do something like that. So I'm just going to do the center line, and for that I'm gonna, do I want to set up a drawing tool for that? Yes, I can do that as well. So let's do the properties first. I'm gonna do a yellow one. In Germany they would be white, but in the States and Britain they would be yellow. So let's go for the yellow one. So a line like that would perhaps be half a foot wide. And I'm also adding their own layer for this, so road markings. And what we need, because we want a dashed line, is a line style. So, and here I'm gonna use one of the existing lines. We've already got a dash defined, we just need to modify it. So just the center lines are white, right? It's the lines at the edge of the street that are yellow. Yeah, right. Yeah. They are all the lines are, except in construction areas, are white in Germany. So let's go for where I want to edit the dash. And here I'm gonna set up the line style. First off, I need to uncheck paper scale, otherwise we are not gonna work in the same reference as the other type in the map. And I'm also normally turn off the scale fit to ends. And my pattern length, let's say we've got a, how long is like a 5 foot. 5 foot is probably, let's do a 6 foot pattern length, and then let's draw 2 of that, then skip 4 and delete this one here. Okay, so let's also make this white. And let's see if we draw this here on the road, how that looks. Actually, I've forgot to set some properties. I should have set a fill style to solid, and also created a sheet for the more road markings. So I need to do this. So I'm going to do it by move to sheet, select by prior, do it, and add a new sheet road markings. There we are. And then change fill style prior. Oh, actually now I'm Yeah, now I'm getting a little bit in the problematic area because I can't select by prior anymore, because moving to sheet takes the entity out of the drawing order and everything, and you can't select a sheet by prior. That's just an object by prior, which you've just moved to a different sheet. So I could, if I select this now, I will select 3 objects because these are all white lines on the same line, so I can't select different ones by picking them with the pick cursor. So and here's where my layer comes in handy, because I can change properties and select by layer and use the road markings, and that just selects the center line there. Do it. And color white and fill style solid. Up at the very top. There we are. And this is weird. Why does it turn blue? Oh, okay. It just turned blue for a moment. I don't know why it turned blue. Anyway, it's white now, and that's all what matters. Okay, so let's see. Find them a bit too bright here in that style, probably a little bit more worn, and that's easily fixed by adding a bit of a transparency effect. Transparency, I'd say 75% transparency. And that way they don't look quite as bright and shiny and white anymore. Okay, so we've got the road set up. We could even set up the road together with the road markings there as one drawing tool. That's just something I wanted to show you. So let's see, advanced. If I take this one here, the 20-foot one, new, and say road asphalt 2 lanes. Then I could go in and add an outline as an extra entity, properties, and make this white. That would also go on the road markings layer and on the road markings sheet. And fill style solid. Fixed line width of 1/2 foot. And a line style of dashed. Dash. That's our dash. And there you can see we do have a drawing tool now that draws this in one go. So for example, if I could use this now to add the road here, of course not quite, because I would need to set it to road asphalt first. So we go on the sheet we created for that, and we should also probably put it on the edge there. Okay, didn't work. Roads asphalt. Did I have something wrong in my drawing tool? Properties. Yeah, doesn't have an asterisk there in the sheet listing, and I should probably put it on the asphalt sheet by default here. There we go. So let's remove this again and try again. There we go. And of course, road markings would look a little bit different on a proper sheet. So if you wanted to set this up fully, you draw in your own markings in here and create a drawing tool for the markings. But that's not something I'm going to do right now. All right. So nice. And now I do want to see what I'm gonna do here with the house and the sidewalk. I'm happy with the road for now. I'm gonna concentrate on the garden and the lawn of the house and see what we can do there. First off, I want to offset it a little bit more from the road. I find this is too close to the road. I want to have some a bit of a space for front lawn, so I'm gonna just set it back a little bit. And then, for example, we could already go into the vegetation here and see. We might have a tree-lined road, so we're gonna grab some trees and just gonna put down a couple trees here. And we should probably put this on the high. Let's put a tree here, one here, and another one further down the road. That already looks nice. So next up we do need a little bit of a path towards the front door. So for that I'm gonna set up a drawing tool for the pavement. Here I can use like on the lines, and that will pick out the sidewalk, because the sidewalk is the lowest point here in the lowest of the entities. And if you use a command that picks one object, it will always take the one it encounters first in the list of things in the map, and that would be the lowest one. So I'm gonna set up a bit of a road sidewalk. Sidewalk. And now I'm going to use a polygon, makes it a little bit easier than here if I want to draw separate shapes. So that not all lines or rectangles. So I'm going to set this up as a polygon. Properties. Let's go for our cracked concrete. There we are. Use a matching gray. And road sidewalk is the sheet we wanted on, and also the sidewalks layer. There we are. And then we are just gonna draw this as the path to our house. Although I feel it's a little bit too wide here, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put in I'm noticing I'm on snaps now, and I don't have enough snaps here to control that very nicely. Yeah, we've got a 10-foot grid with only 2 snaps, so I'm gonna switch to a 5-foot grid and 5 snaps. And then I'm gonna insert some nodes to alter the shape here. So 2 in from that side, and down here I'm going to move the nodes just to make it narrower. There, and it widens a little bit towards the door, which is nice. And we could even perhaps put in a couple more nodes here. Like that, looks good. And now I'm thinking, in a modern house like this, or especially for in America, we would need a garage at the site, so a place for the car to go. And that makes me think of cars. And obviously in the symbol set 5 we don't have any cars. We do have vehicles though, and you see we've got carts and boats and horses, but no cars. So, but we do have the symbol set 3, and there we're gonna have a look at our symbol catalogs, what we have available there. So I'm gonna go up to symbols here, and then the folder modern, and then that's in the floor plans. And there, symbol set 3 comes with two bitmap styles, A and B, and we're looking at the A stuff. And there's our vehicles for that, and there's our cars. And here we could, of course, nice American street, we would have a pickup. And here we can see if this is sitting on the driveway just below the tree here. Let's actually put this on the symbols low sheet. Here go. So that's the car. So we do need a garage for that. And for that we could of course use our symbol again, but we can also, for example, just this default house. Let's have a look how that works. Find it's a bit large perhaps for a garage. Yeah, might just be enough, but I'm thinking I want my own special shape, and therefore I'm gonna use the house drawing tool instead. Here, and there's our symbol set 5 styles, and I do want my tiles. This is the metric versions with the M, so I'm gonna keep scrolling down. I come to the imperial style. No frills is this one I want, and then I'm gonna use a simple shape without the flattened roof ends, and use this for my garage. So this is wide enough, and then this, yes, and thinking I've got a little bit of a gap here. So what I'm gonna do is I'm actually gonna put this on the, I've got the buildings low. Or actually I've got the builders things here, the buildings drawn with the house tool go on the buildings sheet, and it's below the symbols which the house should be on, so we should be able to just draw this a little bit of underneath the house. Like this. Yes, that's how I want it to be. And now I can, even if I want to, move the vehicle, the car up a bit, so it's half sitting in the garage. And then of course, obviously I do need a driveway. For that I'm going to use my sidewalk tool again. And there's my driveway. Nice and easy. And now it's really getting a bit on my nerves that I'm always losing the street when I'm zooming in. So I should probably have drawn it as a... So what can I do to fix this? Well, I can do something very easy. I can just at least redraw the sidewalk as a polygon instead of a line. So I'm going to do that. Go in and use the sidewalk tool, and then just put this across the shape I've drawn previously, and erase the line here, combine and layer sidewalks. That's a logical combination, logical and. That's so I'm selecting entities that I've picked previously and that are on the layer sidewalks, and that just gives me the one entity. And I do need to make this straight here. So this way I'll at least see the, yeah. And now I'm zoomed far enough that I see the center line of the road path, and therefore it does appear in my viewing screen. All nice and good. All right, so now we can do a little bit with the front yard here, perhaps. So let's take a look at our vegetation, and we do have a little bit of stuff in here, for example flower beds. Or we could just grab one of these here and put it on the symbols low or even the symbols flat sheet, put it underneath the house edge, put some flower beds in here, and we could place some ornamental bushes. And if I wanted to go a little bit more elaborate, I could even grab the symbol set 4 symbols and draw some of those. Open grave because of Halloween. It's a good suggestion. That would be a good Halloween themed map if I put a nice and open grave here just right in the front yard. Right in front of the door. Or a little crypt. There we go. So this does need to be on the flat sheet. Otherwise it casts a shadow which is not quite fitting in with the rest of the symbols. There we go. So what I also wanted to show you, I want easy access to the cars here. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna set up a little catalog window to give me that quickly and easily. So here I'm gonna check, I've got the vehicles here, and I'm going to create a new one, call that vehicles modern, and then I'm just going to go into the symbol catalog file here and browse to my symbol set 3 selection. Floor plans, bitmap A, vehicles, there we go, save that, and now I do have the vehicles in here. You might want to delete that later again or just rename it or something, because if I click the vehicles button now, I always get the selection between the old ones and the new ones. What I want in this case, but I might not want that if I'm working on a fantasy city with the style, and that's always an extra click when I want to go to the symbols catalog, so I might want to remove that again at a later point. Sorry. Oh, excuse me. Okay, that should be better. All right, so let's have a quick look. If I'm gonna have a look in the flops or dungeons, the dungeons of Schley, that's Mike Schley here, and have a look at the vegetation there. See there we've got some weeds and more trees and a burrow even, though it's probably a bit too much detail, but I could, for example, grab a headstone here, go to symbols flat, and put that for a little more decoration in here. Well, that's actually, if I make it a bit larger, even looks fine. So we do need a skeleton here probably to sit in the grave or something. See whether we've got, we would have that in the debris probably. We've got bones and there's a skeleton there. Nice human skeleton. Set back to normal. And have that sit in the open grave. Oh, that looks perfect, doesn't it? Very nice. All right, so that's nice. And all we need really for a little front yard. So what next? What do we need? We do need a bit of a backyard. So let's have a zoom out a bit and have a look behind the house. And so we probably would have a veranda here or something, and then a little bit of garden behind that, or probably fenced in or walled in with a simple wooden wall. So let's have a look what we have here. If we go back to the city style, we do have the wooden palisade here, which is perhaps a bit too rough for a modern. We do have a nice hedge, so let's put a hedge here on the as a border of the property. So one pretty close to the garage. There we go. Or perhaps we don't need that. We can just grab the corner here already. There we go. Turn off the snap. We might even have a little opening here, so an exit into the woods beyond. And that would be the border of our property. So then I do want a bit of a veranda here. So our sidewalk is actually pretty nicely set up for that, but we might want to use not the cracked concrete, or something a little nicer. So let's have a look for our sidewalk. Let's go on the roads veranda. And have a look what else we do have. We have got the tiles, or we could use our, we've got some marble there, cobblestones. Where's our, we've got our cobbles, the stones there. I'm thinking of some, trying to remember which ones I want to. Stones? No. It's not the ones I want. Let's have a look. I'm thinking on which ones the roads here, the paved roads are. It's probably pavement. Properties. Streets cobble. That's the felt style from the symbol set 5. Sidewalk, road veranda. Properties, and go for this streets cobbles. There they are, but the light ones. Okay. And let's, for that I'm going to put on snap again. There's our little veranda. And now I'm thinking I might want to put in a pool or something, perhaps. That would be nice. So let's make this actually a little bit larger. And see what we can do for a pool. So we probably have some water. I'm not quite sure whether it's nice looking for a pool. Well, at least the coloring is nice, but we probably want not a smooth one, but a straight line. So let's grab the blue water and call it water pool. And make that straight. Okay. And then put in just a small swimming pool. Yeah, actually the pattern isn't so bad at all, but we do need a little bit to set it off and make stuff. So for example, perhaps a bevel on this, inverse bevel on this could look good. So let's have a look on the water river where we are on. Currently has the glow. We might not need the inside glow to be quite as strong. Yeah. And the other one is the outside glow. No, it's also an inside glow. A couple of glows in there. Okay, let's keep those. But let's grab an edge. Not an edge fade, but a bevel. 3 foot. Invert colors, map units. Apply. No, that's too strong. There we are. Yeah, like that. That's actually quite nice. And what I want to do is I want to create a little bit of an edge around this. I might actually do that even differently. I do need a new sheet above the sidewalk. So let's just call that pool edge. And otherwise grab the same properties from the veranda and then go to the pool edge. Grab a different fill style. We had something marble there, I think. At some point might look good. Let's grab the marble here. No, I think the structure is too strong. We could use the concrete without the cracks. Let's try that. Go in and put this around the pool as an edge. And now what I'm thinking is I could use the bevel from the water and put that on the pool edge and then make the length longer. Yeah, and that you get a bit more of an impression of, though the edge is still, the bevel is too long, so let's make it 2. And what we can do, we can make the water a little bit transparent. So we can see the edge going down. It's not strong enough, I think. I might move that up. Not quite what I wanted, but I think good enough for a swimming pool. All right, and then we could put in a couple trees and bushes in the smaller tree here in the garden. Still on symbols high. Some bushes. Yeah, and then we might actually want to put in a little bit of a path going through the garden. So for that we can use our dirt road path, and we're gonna go here from the garage all around down here. There, and that's probably a bit too wide, so I'm going to make this less wide, change line width, and that was 5, so let's just make it 3. And the actual sheet effect here from the old roads sheet comes across nicely and blending it perfectly into the grass background. And then let's see whether we have a little gate or something. Or actually it might even be a bit too strong, the edge fade effect here. So let's make that just 1. Yeah, that's better. Let's have a look. Do we have... Yes, we do have a fence gate here. Perfect. Somewhat slow. Where are we? There we are. Put it like this, and then what I'm actually going to do is I'm going to grab this, put this in here, send it to the back, and put the gate on top. And there's our back gate in the fence. And there we have a very nice little shape. So what I'm actually going to do, I'm gonna grab the whole thing here, move it into the corner, and have a look how large my map would be. Info distance top down is about 145, and left to right is about 140, so let's make it 150 by 120. So I'm going to file resize drawing area with 125 and height 150. There we are. It means we can erase this tree here. We can do color to hide all the stuff that shows that. And there's our neat little suburban house with a garage, the car, pool in the garden. You might want to put in some furniture now from Simul Set 5, Simul Set 4, similar in the garden. And we've got a nice little scene combined from Simul Set 5 and Simul Set 3. And I'm quite happy with how it looks, even though fill styles are from two very different fill styles. If you zoom in close, you'll see that this is obviously from a very different artist than this one, and the car doesn't have the strong edges like the other stuff, but I do think for a map like this it does fit together pretty nicely and makes a nice combination scene of a modern fill style which we don't have as such otherwise. Alright, hope you enjoyed tonight's little mapping session and scare some people tonight if you want to. If you enjoy that kind of thing, hand out some candy or get some tricks played on you, what you prefer. And hopefully see you again next week. All the best. Bye bye.